Hello, it's Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 9, Episode 6. The episode picks up with Fatima talking to Andy at the bar, and Fatima's like, do I need to start looking for another job? Andy's like, why you say that? Fatima's like, because your mom said if I don't get my stuff together that you're gonna fire me. Andy's like, well, let me be honest, your focus has been elsewhere and not on the job that you're supposed to be doing. Fatima has the nerve to say that she thought that her and Andy were friends. Fatima, you might be a friend to her, but she was never a friend to you. She sees you as a transactional relationship that she can only get stuff out of. She's not genuinely your friend. Fatima has the nerve to tell Andy that she will hurt somebody behind Andy, which Fatima has proven multiple times. But will Andy do the same thing for her? No. He has the nerve to say it back. We're sisters, we're friends. Girl, that sounded so disingenuous, and you only said that to pacify the situation so that Fatima wouldn't cut you out. Fatima's like, why have you been acting weird towards me? And Andy tries to come up with some excuse, but then she finally lets out the truth that she was just upset that Karen kept calling Fatima for everything, but they're her sisters, and she says that she's glad that her and Fatima are closer now. But Andy, you definitely are jealous. Your words might not say that, but your body language and everything else. Then Fatima brings up the whole fact that Zach saw Andy naked, and Andy's like, that wasn't supposed to happen. It was just a situation that happened. And Fatima's like, I'm not mad about the situation. I'm just mad that you didn't tell me. And Andy goes into the whole thing about work and how she's proud of her for working with those high-profile clients, but she still has a job to do. They hug it out. I'm like, girl, Fatima, you should have really cut. Fatima leaves, and Andy walks back to the table, and the girls are asking her, what did Fatima say? Andy's like, it was nothing, it was just work-related, and the girls are like, it didn't look that way when she came over here. And Danny's like, well, she's not going to tell us, so Karen, just go on with you. Karen announces that she's moving to Seattle, and I'm like, Karen, Seattle out of all places? And the girl says the same thing, and they start asking her a million questions about this salon, why is she doing this, how does Aaron feel? It's a whole bunch of questions that Karen doesn't know the answer to. All she knows is she wants to go and she's going to get a fresh start. The girls are on their feelings about it because they're all thinking about themselves, and they're like, we're your village, we're here to support you, you always have us. Karen's like, I understand how y'all feel, but I have to do what's best for me, and I think a fresh start will be good for me. Then she starts quoting the girl from her group circle meeting, staying in one place and going and getting a fresh start. And the girls are like, we've been through some stuff too, but you don't see us picking up and moving, do you? Karen's like, no, but I have to do what's best for me, and I think moving is the best thing. She starts listing off the bad things that happened to her in Atlanta, and as she's talking, Andy's phone rings, and they think that it's Andy's mom, and they start talking about Andy's mom, and Andy's like, I don't want to talk about that. The girls flip it around, and they start telling Karen all the good things that happened to her in Atlanta, about her salon grand opening and all this other stuff. As they're talking, Andy's phone rings again, and Danny's like, are we keeping you from something? Because clearly you have somewhere that you need to be. Andy's like, why are you in my business? So Andy and Danny have this back and forth in the restaurant, and they're both going for low blows, and Karen's like, when did we get Karen's like, well, that's part of the reason that I want to leave, because we're not even close anymore. We don't even call each other, hang out, or do nothing. We don't even laugh. Andy's like, I think we're falling apart, and one of the girls is like, we've been that way for a while. And Karen's like, y'all can't fall apart, I need y'all to stay together and all this other stuff. And Karen's, I just want to tell you, you can't make somebody stay in a friendship if they don't want to stay. Clearly, there's two separate friendships inside of this group. You and Andy, and Danny and Sabrina. She gets up to leave because she's like, I gotta go tell Pam and handle some stuff at the salon. And Andy's like, I'm leaving too, so they both leave. And that just leaves Danny and Sabrina. And Sabrina's like, why are you acting this way towards Andy? She's our friend. Danny's like, of course you would defend her. Sabrina's like, I always defend you. And Danny's basically like, until she could get over this line and just all this other stuff, I don't want nothing to do with it. But then they start talking about Tony, and the reason that Tony was using the lubricant, and Danny was like, well, I haven't been able to perform because I'm not mentally in the right space right now. Sabrina's like, I understand that. And they start giving each other. This sister circle has been disbanded for a long time, and the only reason they stay together is because the history that they. Sometimes history just isn't enough. Over at the bank, we see Maurice talking to Paige, and Maurice is trying to figure out why Paige is acting like that towards him. And basically, the whole thing is, Paige just doesn't want her brother to get hurt, because the last relationship he was in, he fell really hard, and he ended up getting hurt. Maurice is like, I don't want to hurt him. I actually really like him. He's actually making me think about new things, and I just want to see where this goes, because at the age, you might end up blocking your brother's blessing if you continue to stand in his way. Let Maurice and him be out. We're in the law firm parking lot. Fatima's walking to her car, and she feels somebody walking up behind her, so she turns around, and she sees that it's Gary, and she's like, what are you doing here? Of course, she pulls out the gun on him, and he's like, I'm just here to talk. Fatima's like, there's absolutely nothing for me to talk to you about. Gary's like, I just want to apologize for everything that I put you through, and everything with Zach, and the fact that my security put his hands on you. Fatima's like, you told your security to put his hands on me. Fatima, that wouldn't happen if you kept grabbing that man, but that's neither here nor there. Gary's like, I was actually here to talk to Hayden, but I see that he's not here, so I'm gonna go. So they both go their separate ways, and Fatima goes. Once Fatima gets home, she lets Zach know what's going on. They start talking about the money that Zach got from Gary and how it could be dirty, and they just want to confront Gary about everything. They don't trust Gary as far as they could throw him, so they ride over to Hayden's house to confront Gary about everything. Right, Hayden's house. Hayden gets a knock on the door, and it's Gary, and he's like, I'm just here to apologize. Hayden's like, there's absolutely nothing for me to talk to you about, and if you're looking for Tamara, she's not here. Gary's like, I just want to talk, can I come in? So they have a conversation, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm a changed man, I didn't mean to do that. That person was not me, I don't know who that was, but I'm genuinely sorry. Hayden's like, I'm not forgiving you. I was truly your friend, and you did me like this. I was even riding with you to that sham of a marriage with Andy. I held you down when I wasn't even supposed to, and you did me like that. You sleep with my girl at time, like, be for real. Hayden starts calling Gary all these type of names and telling him that he's the devil and his soul is just dark, and why do you even like this? And Gary's like, it was the drugs and everything. So Gary starts bringing up Tamara, and that's when Hayden chokes up Gary against the wall, and I'm like, Hayden, I've never seen you like that before. But I guess Tamara's still a touchy subject because Hayden really loved her. They're doing all that. Hayden gets a knock on the door, and he's like, you set me up. Gary's like, nah, man, I don't even know who that is. So Hayden opens the door, and there's Zach and Fatima. Hayden's automatically on defense mode, and he's like, whatever Fatima told you that I didn't do it. And they're like, we're not even here on that. We're here to talk to Gary. Hayden's like, you might want to tell them everything that they need to know, because these two are good at hiding a body. And they both turn around, and they're like, did you really just say that out loud? Hayden's like, I didn't mean it like that. They turn back around, and they talk to Gary. And of course, Zach and Gary going at it. He's like, why'd you give me that money? I know it's dirty. And Gary's like, it's not even dirty. You can trace it back to the bank. I know you would say that, so I brought papers to prove it. He reaches in his pocket. Zach is like, don't be reaching. I don't know what you read. Gary pulls out the papers to prove that it's not even dirty, and he passes it to Fatima. And Gary's like, look, I'm just here to make amends. I want to make everything right. I'm sorry for everything that happened. He's like, why are you even here? Gary's like, I just want to make amends, and why are you even acting like this? Gary's like, I'm acting like this because of everything that happened with Jasmine. I really had to change of heart, and it really changed something inside of me, and I just want to be different. And they're like, we're not trusting you. Zach is like, I was almost shot because of you. Gary's like, I know that, and I'm sorry. Zach is like, well, you need to be apologizing to Andy. Fatima's like, while you at it, you need to be apologizing to Penelope. And I'm like, Fatima, you're right, because he's the one that hurt Penelope the most. Andy was just something that he was obsessed with. But he was engaged to Penelope, engaged to Andy, while Penelope was pregnant, and he caused harm to his unborn baby. Like, what? Gary, you really need to apologize to Penelope, even though I know that she's not going to accept it for anything. Inside the grocery store, Andy gets a call from Dr. Vaughn, and apparently she went to the grocery store to get some wine. Andy never goes to the grocery store. They're talking about him coming over to the house. Andy's like, she got wine, and he gets all excited about that, and he's like, I'll be over after work. Andy's like, okay. So when she gets off the phone, she gets approached by the officer that was helping her find Karen. He's like, I think you're beautiful. We should get to know each other. I really like to have your number. Andy's like, I thought that was only for emergency purposes and if I needed law firm assistance. The officer is like, well, I would like you to use it for something else. Basically the same game that he ran on Danny. So if Andy actually gives this man a chance, it's definitely going to cause some more attention between Danny and Andy. Even though Danny's in a relationship with Tony, even though she don't want to be there, and Andy is trying to talk to Dr. Vaughn. So I wonder how all this is gonna. You know, Andy loves any type of male attention, so of course she's gonna go for it. She stays like Little Caesars hot and ready all the time. It's truly a shame though. But I think that this might truly be the end of the sister circle. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications. Bye!